What's happening here?
Come on, where's the adverts? Got to cook me dinner.
Need 5 minutes of adverts.
Is he frozen? He's
Is
frozen.
he frozen?
Yeah.
I've got
yes,
control.
yeah.
I can do it.
Dad's got control. Go on, Dan.
I've got control. West Cork Beard Company make beard oil and beard balm for a strong, healthy, great-looking beard. Handmade from all natural ingredients in Clonakilty, West Cork. Check out their YouTube channel for beard care tips and advice, or catch them online at westcorkbeardcompany.ie.
That's better. Yeah, ain't on it. Oh.
What's happening, Craig?
That was a good start. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the Same Old Arsenal podcast, episode I Don't Know. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all been to the pub today and got a few pints inside you. You lucky, lucky things. We're fucking lockdown over here in Ireland when the pub, I think, the pub in Ireland is a forgotten word now. I think we're all too used to getting the old cans from the supermarket and sitting at home and drinking them. So, yeah, you lucky ducks. I hope you've been out and enjoyed yourself.
Too cold.
Too cold? Yeah, coming from a fellow who wears his football jersey tucked out. Yeah, I'd understand where that comes from, to be honest. A great victory to talk about. At last, a clean sheet and 3 points. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Hello to you all in the chat. Hello to you all if you are watching on replay, and hello to you all if you're listening to this on audio.
Miss Molina, please. Can you put that one up from Miss Molina, please? Just put it up there, please. Just put it up there, please.
There you go.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, but he's forgetting who gave him the name Granite Judges, isn't he? Forgetting the person who put it out there in the first place.
Love it.
Lee, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you very much. And aching from my masterclass yesterday, but other than that, I'm all right. Like you know, so.
Do you get the Mickey taken out of you for those boots?
No. Why would anybody take the Mickey out of me in my boots?
Because all the boys wear proper black ones, and you wear silly white ones.
Yeah, no, like, you know, shining beacon, and I like, you know, look. When you have to please your sponsors, and that's what I have to do. I have to please them, and that's it, like, you know. So, and they will be pleased to know that it banged in a goal after.
I can't see AFTV written on them anywhere.
7 minutes, banged in a goal. Don't take me long. Bang. And you know what? I've got to say this, right? You know, I made history yesterday.
Go on, mate. Go on.
Well, that was I'm the first player, right, to have scored on the new scoreboard.
Well, they are very well done, mate.
Yeah.
Go on, bruv.
That's it. Like, you know, the new scoreboard's been put in, and I was the first one to put my name up in lights.
Did it come up, Lee Judges?
Lee Judges, number 7, 7 minutes. Bang.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a very nice moment, like, you know. They're all talking about cream eggs in here. I don't know what they're going on about, like, the cream eggs.
That's what you're sponsored by. That's what they're saying you're sponsored by.
Can't resist. There was a film on the watch along yesterday. How you eat your Cadbury's cream eggs, and
we saw that. Yeah,
it was a bit rude.
This
well,
one's coming.
Rude, really. It's how I do it, like, you know what I mean. So,
thank you, Pids, for your kind donation. She says, Lee, have you got your cream eggs at the ready?
I have got a couple here ready, like, you know. So, and I'll tell you what, like, where's Nigel? Is he about? Is he, like, you know what I mean? Like,
he is. He's in the chat. Yeah.
Judge his own goal 7 minutes, and he's allowed that, is he? Like, you know what I mean? Do your job, Nigel. Come on. Get on it, boy. Get on it. No Cadbury's cream eggs for you.
Dan, how are you, sir?
Yeah, good. Cheers, boys. Happy to be here. Surprised Judges is here, man. Now the shops are open. I thought he would have got some size 9 flip-flop fitted Primark. You know, Arteta in it now. We won. Arteta in. You know what I mean?
The
so
queue
I'm
was too
surprised
long.
to see him here.
I'll flip-flop you when I see you. I'll tell you.
And our super sub, whenever he is called upon, obviously Harry is out doing a bit of work. Graham can't be with us this evening, and neither can Mark. So the super sub, Albert, how are you, sir?
Of course, I was getting ready to, sit back and watch you guys doing your thing, and I'll get the late call up. I thought, you know what, this is like going to the Euros, mate. This is quality. So happy days to be here.
Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. Just before we get going, if you haven't done it already, please hit the like button. It helps us out enormously. If you could do that for us before we get going. If you're watching it on catch up, if you could do it now, thank you very much indeed. Much appreciated. We'll start off with you, Lee. A trip to Bramall Lane yesterday. A rather comfortable win in the end, winning the game 3-0. I thought it was a very good performance. Yes, okay. It was Sheffield United, bottom of the league, not doing very well. But at the end of the day, Lee, you can only play what's in front of you. What's your take on yesterday?
Listen, as I've said before, you can only beat what's in front of you. And it was listen, I thought, it was a game we couldn't win in certainty. If we won it 3-0, that was what was expected. If we'd have lost it, everybody would have been going mad and it, of course, someone's been on the message me today like, oh look, it's Arteta love in there, is it, and all that like, and we have beaten bottom of the league. A smile in a minute when he knows who I'm talking about, and like all of that. But ultimately, that's all we could do yesterday was just beat them as we did, and that's what we did. I'm going to say this: I thought the first goal was fantastic bit of football. I've got to say, don't care who that's against. It was absolutely brilliant. Like knocking the ball about, the little touch from Ceballos to put Lacazette through, and a great finish.
It's lovely.
Oh, I thought it was a fantastic goal, and then. I have to say, Lacazette's second one, the ball from Partey, it was fantastic. What I mean? Absolutely fantastic pass. So there was some good football in there. There was some good football in there. There was some, like ordinary stuff as well, but ultimately, clean sheet, 3-0. Listen, those games are always going to be difficult because the other team's got, Sheffield United got nothing to lose. They're just going to go for it. You've still got to be professional. With one eye on Thursday, of course, and the pleasing thing for me, I was so pleased that that Martinelli got a start, and I thought he was brilliant. I got to say that his work rate, everything about him. Do you know what we was talking about yesterday? Everything that he does ticks every box that Mikel Arteta wants, but somehow we don't play him, But as my dear friend said, after he was having a little pop today, he said, "Oh, you wait and see." Willian will be in for Martinelli, and like this will be this, and so I'm going to keep this man anonymous who it is. You know what I mean? That makes all these messages, sends me these messages of doom and gloom. I've actually put like Dad's Army on there because it's all doom and gloom when he gets on the phone. But anyway, I hope Martinelli plays on Thursday because I think he deserves to. I thought he played really, really well yesterday. Got the goal. Poacher's goal, and I was quite impressed with him. Pepe, I thought done well as well. All in all, a good performance. And I'll tell you what, the standout for me, and I think we should talk about this because
I know what you're going to say.
I know that I was like a midfield general yesterday, Granit Xhaka and all that, but I can't play left back like he played yesterday.
Yeah, he done really well yesterday. He
done really well there, So it'd be interesting to see if that's where he's going to play on Thursday. And I think that if he doesn't play him on Thursday there, why play him there yesterday? So a very interesting team selection that was.
It was very. Dan, what was your feelings on yesterday, mate?
Yeah, very similar to Lee. I think Martinelli was great to see him. Been calling
pure live wire, wasn't he?
Weeks. Yeah, the tenacity, the mentality. I thought he was probably player of the match. I know Lacazette got man of the match, and probably rightly so, to be honest. But I thought Martinelli was lively as ever, and it was a really good chance for us to see what he can do, because I wanted to see him for more than 5 minutes. Then we started to see him for 15. Then we started to see him for 25. So if it's true about Arteta wanting to try and mould him in, then I'm just glad that he's just given him a full game, because he's had to have one of those. You can't just keep bringing him on for 10, 15, in my opinion. So he's done that, and he's done it well. I looked at the situation with Xhaka and I didn't like it. Thought he was fine there. I think he said to my dad, I was mucking around. I said, at least if you play Xhaka at left back, you can't pass it backwards all the time. But he did quite a few times. So, no, but he had a good game only mucking around. He was all right. No one had a bad game, Craig. I thought Danny Ceballos, that just sums up Ceballos' season, does it not? Poor, then great.
He's so
poor,
frustrating, isn't he?
Oh, he was brilliant.
Oh,
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
So good yesterday. And,
I mean, there's some comments. Sorry, Dan, to cut across you. There's some comments that come in. I've got to bring it in because I'm sorry now, Miss Shane, or I hope I've said that right, but this is the kind of comments that, I think the touch from Tobias and the pass from Partey is being overrated. Just shows the mediocrity that we've become used to. Now, I'm sorry. But anyone who watches football now, it's okay. You can come in the comments, right, and say that we know nothing about football. That's fine. I can take that. That's absolutely fine. But if you're trying to tell me that pass is overrated, then I have no idea what your level of football is, because that pass was executed absolutely perfect. It's one of the best passes of a football you are ever going to see. It was perfectly weighted, perfectly timed, right onto the striker's foot. He didn't even have to do anything. He let the ball roll and bang, it was in the back of the net. Sorry to cut across you, Dan. I just had to get that off my chest there. Very sorry about that.
No, don't be. It's a great, and we respect the comment, that's come up, but we do have to answer stuff like that. I've been guilty in the past of saying that we accept mediocrity, but you can only beat the team in front of you. And when you start to score goals like the 3 goals that we scored, I thought they were all exceptional. You can't sit there and say that it's only Sheffield United and that, it doesn't count. We certainly going to get carried away. That's 100%. It is Sheffield United who are a very poor side. They've lost 25 games this season. However, we need to be sure that we are looking at performance on the pitch. And that's what we saw. I thought we dominated the first half in terms of possession. Second half, we gave him a little bit of a glimpse and the possibility of making something happen within the first 5-10 minutes. But then I think that we were again on top of the game. As we said, Ceballos will run the show in the middle. Thomas Partey's pass, I've been very critical of him a few times this season, particularly in the last few weeks. I think he's had a real kind of hard time, so to speak. But it's early days still on an Arsenal shirt. And when you see passes like that, you can see that he's got it in his locker. So let's hope that we see more of that from Thomas Partey. Lacazette, I'm actually pleased for, because he was frustrating as anything on Thursday night. And I think he played because I think Arteta was either doing one or two things, and that was, you're not playing on Thursday unless you buck your ideas up, son. And let's hope that that's the answer that he's got, because I thought he was really good. I thought he worked hard. His finishing was superb for the goals, and I think that is very, very key to who will be playing up front for us on Thursday night. Personally, I do think, Craig, we play better without Lacazette and Aubameyang together. Yes. And I think personally, the system or whatever style, whatever people that seem to be saying we've got, certainly does look better with Lacazette up front through the middle, in my opinion, without Aubameyang. And the reason I say that isn't just because Aubameyang's having a poor season. It's because I think Lacazette seems to play better around the likes of Martinelli, Saka and Smith-Rowe. He just seems to play a lot better and be infused by those youngsters. And the last thing I'll say, and I'm not going to criticise the manager because I can't, because it was a good performance, but I was a bit frustrated to see Saka playing there because he's looked knackered in the last 6 games, and now it looks like he could be potentially out on Thursday. So I was a bit frustrated that he played and we didn't see like Willian or somebody that wasn't going to play on Thursday night, because although it's a good performance and we're happy with it, I'm just going to be gutted if we're going to lose Saka, Tierney, Ødegaard and Smith-Rowe on Thursday night. That's too much for me personally.
Yeah, so that would be a massive shame, but I think we must be positive there. I mean, I saw a video of him today on Twitter walking out pretty normally out of the ground. Yeah, do you know?
I'd say just a dead leg, wasn't it?
I think it was just a dead leg, Lee. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I watched the replay of it. I paused it and I rewound it and I paused it and I rewound it. I think he gets a dead leg, and he's taken off precaution. Precautionary because of Thursday night, I would imagine. And like I said, I see the video on Twitter today. He walks out quite easily. No crutches, no aid, no nothing.
One thing, sorry, Craig. One last thing.
Yeah, go on, mate.
I just seen it in the comments and I forgot to say it.
Yeah.
I think Pablo Mari deserves so much more credit
massive
this season.
Yeah.
I really don't understand. This is a centre half who seems to be commanding and understanding. I've just seen Pramod with a comment in there, and it just reminded me, because I think that Gabriel and Pablo Mari are new centre halves, and I think they've had good seasons. I know might have had mistakes as a defensive unit, but I think he deserves a lot of credit again yesterday, Pablo Mari. I think he plays next to a lot of different centre halves and has done before, whether it's Luiz, whether it's Gabriel, whether it's Holding. I think he's a really good centre half and one that I think's actually turning to be a good signing from Arteta. I just wanted to add that. That was all. Sorry, mate.
No, yeah, it's great.
You know what, it's a good point before Albert comes in there. That's a good point that's been made there. Does Mari and Holding, like, does he put a Holding play better with a more experienced central defender, saying Mari, and like same with Gabriel when he's played with Luiz instead of the pair of them playing together. So I thought it's a very, very good point. Could be something in that. I thought Holding played well yesterday. It's the first time that he's not looked shaky. Mind you, it's maybe because he's playing up against a championship forward line. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, look. I understand when people say it's only Sheffield United, because at the end of the day, they are bottom of the league. They are the whipping boys this year. I get that, but on the flip side, you've also got to understand that we could have quite easily have gone there and lost. This league is so topsy turvy this year. Everyone's beat everyone. Anyone can beat anyone. Topsy turvy.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah, do you like that? Yeah, you like that? Good. There's a new one for you now. I expect. Right, here's a challenge for you. I expect you to get that word in to your next AFTV interview.
Okay, topsy turvy.
Topsy turvy. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Deal.
Albert, I want to change the subject on you a little bit, mate. Last night, while scrolling through Twitter, you're seeing a lot of, and we're seeing a lot of it in the comment section here now.
Yeah.
It was only Sheffield United. You accept mediocrity. This, that, and the other. And there's people having a go at me there saying about Tom, about parties past. Oh, didn't you see Santi Cazorla? Didn't you see? Of course I saw Santi Cazorla. Of course I saw Cesc Fabregas. Of course I saw these players. But what I'm trying to say is that particular pass from Thomas Partey last night was world class. It was a dream pass for any striker in any continent, in any league in the world. It was a dream ball. What do you say to these fans who say, "Oh, you're going over the top" and this, that, and the other? Why can't we just? Why can't as a fan? Yeah, exactly. Why as a fan base? Why can't we talk about a loss and be disappointed that we lost? And then when we win, why can't we talk about a win and be bloody happy that we got 3 points and we ended a streak of 13 games without conceding a goal?
You know what I think it might be, Craig. I think because we've had sort of years and frustration of pain and inconsistencies. When we do win, it's almost treated as if it's a loss. You make the good point about the pass from Thomas Partey. It was a great pass, and I think that's the issue. If it was a De Bruyne or a Paul Pogba, they'd be waxing lyrical. But I think because obviously it's Arsenal and the run of form and the inconsistency with results, when good things do happen, it's kind of sort of passed off pretty quickly. But it's like you make the good point. You can only beat or play who is in front of you, and sort of, I don't know what it was. Was it a mixture of there was pressure off because they're playing a team that's going to be relegated at the bottom of the league, and I take into account we ain't won there away since, was it 1991? That's a long time at Sheffield United. So the thing I took from it, in particular in the first half performance, Sheffield United kind of came out like probably for that first couple of minutes of the second half, but I had that like clinical, incisive, and slick play. But the problem is we've not seen that too many times this season. I mean, some of the football was beautiful. Like Judge said, the first goal. I mean, Lacazette, where was that finish on last Thursday?
Yeah.
And I saw
both finishes.
Apparently 13 of these goals this season in the Premier League, 10 of them away from home. I don't know if there's something in that or whether it is or whether he feels the pressure at home. But I mean, Lacazette, for example, just touching in quickly, boys, I thought he was excellent yesterday. That is the way you want your lead man to lead the line when you're playing that system and that formation. He didn't run in behind. He came short. He linked up play. But we've not seen that enough of Lacazette in an Arsenal shirt, unfortunately. But yeah, there was some great intricate play, and between Saka and the movement with Lacazette. And I was surprised to see, I don't think anybody would have seen Xhaka starting that game at left back, because I didn't see that coming. But I think that in a way that it was a good thing, just in the sense that we didn't lose the attacking element from Saka, as opposed to having him at left back. But yeah, you know what? I just thought I actually, before my prediction for the game, sort of looking into it, I actually went for Arsenal to win 1-0 because I couldn't see Sheffield United scoring, just because they haven't really scored goals in the Premier League for the last 2 seasons. Yes, they had a good season last season, but they tailed off because they don't score enough goals. I didn't see them scoring yesterday. I thought we'd nick it, but like, we started on the front foot, which we don't start many times this season. I could count on one hand this happened the amount of times this season, home and away. But yeah, good performance in there. Ceballos had a good game again. Frustrating. We haven't seen it a lot this season. Partey has been patchy the games I've seen him play personally. People might disagree with that, but this is the problem supporting Arsenal. It's a mixed bag, man. We will come on podcasts, we'll try and be positive, but you know what it is for me, boys? It's difficult for me to like this team, and that's not easy for me to turn around and say that, because they give us what they give us week in, week out, and it's annoying. But you know, I'll touch on them quickly before I finish up. In terms of the injuries, we know obviously Tierney's out, Luiz is out, Erdegaard we're not sure. ESR, Saka's obviously dead leg. Hopefully should be all right. But yeah, there's some injury concerns going into Thursday, and it is a bit of a concern considering the way the tie is set up, that we have to go out and go and score first, basically. So yeah, it's gonna be an interest. You know what it is? I think it's going to sound strange to say, but I almost feel like it's probably an easier team selection for Arteta to make, based on the fact that who he hasn't got ready for Thursday, unless something drastically changes in the next few days. But I actually think he's probably got an easier time picking the side for Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. Leo, come back to you, mate. How big was the impact of Gabriel Martinelli, do you think, yesterday?
I think it was significant because I felt that we needed to do something different, you know. So it was good to have him in here in a topsy-turvy season, like, you know. So I've got to do it, like, yeah. But no, I don't know about how you guys felt, but as soon as I see him on the team sheet,
yeah, I
was happy. You know what I mean? It didn't really bother me who else was in the team, who else weren't. I thought, you know, like Bellingham would after like the talk about his contract being signed and everything like that, I thought maybe he would be on the bench. But once I see Martinelli was on, I was pleased. I didn't really, and then it was all about let's see what he could do. And I thought he'd done really well. I thought that he lifted the performance of the team, and I don't mean by running at players and whatever. I've just felt every time he got the ball, he looked dangerous. He was lively. He shut down the goalkeeper. His work rate along the back four was really good. Didn't give him any piece of time on the ball. And I think that's something that is what we need to do, particularly against like Prague on Thursday. You know what I mean? Rush him into making mistakes. Rush him into press him. You know, and I quite liked his performance. And I felt that he pushed people like Pepe to do it as well, like, because I thought that was probably one of his better games as well, like, you know. So, and I think the team needed that. I felt that if I be honest, it was the perfect time to play him. But now it comes down to Thursday. You know, as Mikel got the bottle to play him again, like, you know what I mean. I will be very, very disappointed today. On Thursday, if he's not playing and Willian's playing, like if it's Pepe or even Aubameyang, I'll still be disappointed, but not as disappointed, if you know what I mean. But if he's playing Willian in place of in place of Martinelli, I'll be very, very disappointed. Very, very disappointed, because
I can't see how we do that. I hear what you're saying, and I hear a lot of it, and I can't see how.
I wouldn't put my house on it, Craig. You know what I mean?
No, well, yeah, I get that, but I can't see if he's fit and raring to go, and after the way he performed yesterday.
I liked his interview, by the way.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, very good. Very good. And I like what he said at the end.
Thursday, you know what I mean?
Yeah. As if to say, you know. I mean, I was worried for when I saw him in the lineup. Dan, like Lee said, I was happy, but I was also very worried because I was like, oh, if he has a bad game here now, the kid's going to get absolute pelters, and everyone's going to, everyone's going, I'll get him, sell him then because he's no good. Arteta was right, he's no good. That kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
I think if the biggest frustration for me is not, I want to see Martinelli because Willian's bad. It was, I want to see Martinelli because what I see from him in an Arsenal shirt is great. And I think Arteta must be able to see that as well. Don't put your house on Willian not starting on Thursday because he will be. It'll be Willian, it'll be Pepe, it'll be Aubameyang, and it'll be Lacazette as that front four because all the other kids I don't think will be fit enough to start. So if they are fit, if they are fit, I think they'll probably be on the bench and take some part in the game. But I expect that to be the front four on Thursday. I think Lacazette will go up top. I think Aubameyang will be one wing. I think Pepe will be the other. And I think Willian will play in the number 10. And that worries me because all of those players have been underperforming. So their kind of reward for that is to play in the biggest game of the season because that's what this will be on Thursday night. But when I saw Martinelli, like Lee says, it just lifts you straight away. Sometimes the team selections are deflating when you see the Willians and sometimes the Bellerins and, sometimes the negatives of like Ceballos and El Neni together. Everyone's like, oh, God, really? So that does lift you. And I think the kid did well. I think he deserves credit. And I think he deserves another start on Thursday. However, I don't expect it to happen, Craig. And that is a worry for me because, again, this manager is getting to the stage where you need consistent performances and you need to be rewarded by that. Now, if he gets into the stage where he's starting to come on consistently and show some form, he deserves to be getting into the team. And I can only go on who deserves to be playing. And I think Martinelli, after what we saw last night, Martinelli deserves to be in that first team and Lacazette deserves to be up top. If Saka is fit enough, he deserves to be on the right-hand side. And if Ødegaard or Smith-Rowe is fit enough, they deserve to be in the number 10. That's the way I see it. If there's injuries, of course, you have to change the team up. And that's why I expect that front four to play on Thursday. And that doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence, if I'm honest with you, Craig, moving forward.
Albert, Martinelli, mate.
Yeah, I just want to say, I hear what Judges is saying because I feel that was Saka. When I see his name on the team sheet, I'm happy. I feel excited. I'm glad to see Martinelli get a start. And I think, for me, I've always kind of said that if the forwards were doing their job consistently this season, then I could understand why you could turn around and say, you know what, Martinelli, he has to bide his time before he gets into the team. Yeah. But none of the strikers have been doing that. So Arteta has to come out and say something because it doesn't make any sense. But I'm glad he got the minutes. I thought he played well yesterday as well. I thought he played very well. And I would like to see him start on Thursday. But like the boys say, I wouldn't put my house on whatever Arteta is going to do, even though I do think the team selection probably has been made his mind up for who might not be available. So yeah, Martinelli was really good yesterday.
He was. But like Dan, what Graham said on Twitter, Lee, we'll come back to you, mate. Graham said a great thing yesterday on Twitter, and he said that Mikel Arteta has trusted his senior players too much, and now it's time to trust his youngsters. And he put the trust in his youngsters yesterday, and they delivered. They delivered for him, and they have, and obviously got him out of jail. I mean, they delivered for him against Chelsea as well when he changed it up, and the youngsters played against Chelsea, and they went on to win the game quite convincingly. So, is it important that Arteta gets the balance right now between the seniors and the youth players? Well, I call them youth players. You know what I mean? They're not youth players. The young players.
Look, listen, not every inexperienced player's let him down this season. If I'll be honest, I think Granit Xhaka has had a good, solid season this year, and also David Luiz, I think, has done okay this season. But certainly, as Albert alluded to there, I think the forwards in particular have let him down this season. Aubameyang definitely, Willian definitely, Lacazette to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. The way he finished that goal yesterday, I'd have swapped that over for Thursday night. I can tell you that now. I think it's mainly in the forward area that we've been lacking or been let down, and that is why I think there's a frustration to bring in someone like Martinelli. let's be honest. And I'll tell you what, Martinelli is not safe to being in this team because if Odegaard's fit, he'll come into the number 10 role. And if Smith Rowe is fit, then, he'll probably go into that left-hand sided role, So it really depends on team selection. But what we have and what we need is all of those players available. I want to see Odegaard available, whether it's on the bench 20, 30 minutes from the end or with Smith Rowe as well, that we have to chuck them on, then we need to get those players available and on the bench, even if they can't. Don't care about Sunday's game against Fulham. Not bothered about it. Like, you know what I mean? It is all down to Thursday night. So even if these guys are half fit, they've got to be on the bench. If they can do 10, 15 minutes, if we need them, get them there and get them on. And I think that it is a time to bring in a few of the youngsters. And I think that for me, that's why Martinelli plays. Smith Rowe, I think if he's fit, is a shoehorn in now. Definitely has to play. He's a shoehorn. He's a definite player like to come into the team. And I also feel that I'm a little bit worried about Saka. I am a little bit worried about him now. Not as in his form, he's playing away. I think that since he had that rest against Leeds, he's not been the same. He's not come back the same. Whether the rest has not done him good, I don't know. Sometimes you need to probably have a little bit more of a rest and whatever, And I think that, he's had a nice little rest. Like Dan just said there, he's shattered. Well, he's had a nice little rest over the international break and all that, So I'm just worried if the season's just catching up in long term, and that so he needs maybe more than a rest. But you know what? Get out there and do it for this game, and then let them have a rest to the next game, to the semi-final if we get there. Our season's over if we don't win if we don't go through, should I say, on Thursday. It's over. So this is a massive game, and I would actually be saying, right, Saka, we're wrapping you up in cotton wool for this game, and then the semi-final, and hopefully the final. Like, forget about the league games; you ain't playing in them no more.
Albert, you want to come in?
You're not at school, Albert. You don't have to put your hand up.
Yeah.
No, sorry, mate. No, I was going to say, I would add on to what you're saying about Saka in terms of, because if you remember last season when he was sort of taken out of the team towards the back end of last season, maybe that was to do with the fact he's played a lot of games and sort of just making sure he's not overburnt out. But then this season, he's obviously played a lot of games this season. We've been overly reliant on him. So now the judge makes a good point. Maybe, he's not played bad, Saka, but there's times there's been a drop off, but that's understandable. He's still a young kid, he's only 19, so that's going to happen. But it needs to be clinical with his finishing. But hopefully, just give him the rest that he needs. But that's up to Arteta to make that call, shall I say?
Absolutely. Dan, does this worry you? Or this one comes in from LDN Trident. Thinks that Martinelli might be a bit injury prone.
I'm not so sure about that one. I'm really not, because the only injury that he has had that has been long-term has been the one that has kept him out this time. He had the whole season last season. He had I think it was a bit of a knock. And then it came off, didn't he, in the warm-up one time against Newcastle. But it wasn't like we didn't see him again for like 6 months. He's not, at the moment, in my opinion, an injury-prone player. Anybody can be injury-prone. The kid's young enough to be injury-prone, of course. But we can't keep this, if we bring Martinelli on, he might get injured if you're trying to get him into the team. If you're trying to rest players, it's different. So, like, for example, I don't know why we played Kieran Tierney against Liverpool, because that was a pointless game, and now he's out for the rest of the season. I don't know why we played Saka yesterday, because it was a pointless game, and we could have won the game without him. And now he could be out for Thursday night. So that's a different thing. When you're trying to get Martinelli game time, which he clearly needs, you need to give him game time. And none of this, he's young, we need to wrap up in cotton wool. I didn't see Cesc Fabregas and Robin Van Persie being told they were young and they need to be wrapped up in cotton wool. They were good enough, so they got in the team. And so should Martinelli, because he is good enough. This kid looks something special and potentially could be as big as he wants to be. I'm not going to compare him to the Neymars and Ronaldinhos and people like that. But what I will say is that he's got a hell of a lot more potential than somebody like Willian. So I want to be seeing Martinelli on Thursday nights in the big games, not Willian. And I think the only way to do that is to get him into the team. So I'm not so sure that we can call him injury prone yet, just because he's had an injury in his first or his second, this will be, won't it, second season. I'm not so sure about that one, Craig. I think that we could look at that and say that, he has been available for quite a long time now. My quirk was that I didn't really understand why the manager wasn't picking him. And I could only put it down to him not seeing his talent yet. Now, I hope that's changed and that he's done enough in training and also on the pitch to prove that he is good enough for this team, because I think it's clear to see. And it's a position that I really like to see in the league. The likes of Aziz coming through, Balogun given a chance, Martinelli, not because they're, I bring up Fabregas and Van Persie for two reasons. One of that reason, but the other reason I bring them up is because they were getting in the team ahead of much better players than we've got now. And we didn't need to send them out on loan 2 years, did we? Fabregas and Van Persie. So why do we need to do it with the Baloguns and other players of our this year? Let's get them in and see what they're like first before we start to say they're injury prone and all this. Let's give them a go in some of these league games. We've got Fulham and West Brom coming up. Let's see if Aziz is better than Granit Xhaka, and let's see if Balogun's better than Eddie Nketiah. And if they're not, then at least he knows and he's tried it. And the fans can say, do you know what? The manager at least is giving these guys a go. Because if the one thing positive about Mikel Arteta, and I know I'm not a huge fan, but he has managed to get the players that are younger in this team playing together, and they seem to have more of a telepathy than Willian, Pepe and Lacazette do together. So let's see what Aziz and Balogun can do in the mix with it as well. It'll be interesting to see for me, Craig, moving forward.
Absolutely. Albert, would you agree that then perhaps... No, like Lee said, like Dan said, I think like every Arsenal fan feels that they know that the league is over. So if we do go through on Thursday night, is that then a chance to say, right, I'm going to play Balogun, I'm going to play Aziz, I'm going to play the young fellas in the league, and I'm going to have a look at what I've got against Fulham, against West Brom. Why not chuck them in and see what we've got? Keep the Lacazettes, the Sakas, the Smith Rowes, for the Europa League, and throw all those eggs into that basket. Would you be happy if Arteta did something like that?
I wouldn't be against it, and I think if you're going to try and do that, I think you're at the right stage of the season to do it, man. Because look where we are in the league. So, yes, you want the guys to show pride and profession and go and get W's, but let's be honest, we've been in the latter stages of the Europa League, which is very, very important for our club's immediate future. So why would you not take that approach? But it's difficult to know with Arteta if he's kind of what he's thinking and what he's feeling. But for me, I would.
Sorry to cut across you, but is it in the back of his mind then? I know Lee's going to do this thing falling off his chair, but is it in the back of his mind then that he could still finish 7th? He could still get up there. I'm just thinking like the manager. If I'm sitting in the office, I'm looking at the league table and I'm looking at the games that are left, and I'm thinking, do you know what? If we could get a little run on, they could finish. They could get up to 7th or 6th. It's not impossible.
It's not impossible, Craig. But the problem you've got is, I'm only forming it, like, obviously my opinion, but does he truly trust these crop of players that he's got? I don't think he does.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue. Yes. So as the guys touched on earlier about him showing faith in the experienced guys, and kind of the youngsters kind of falling into his lap with a couple of them, but. I just don't think personally, he's obviously not going to come out and say it, Mikel Arteta, but I don't think he probably trusts somebody's squad as far as he could throw him, to be honest, to get top 6, top 7. So that's the issue. But I do hope he is thinking along them lines, Craig and boys, that, we've got 6, 7 games of Premier League left. If we're through to semi-final Europa League, it's to me, it's logical that you would tail off and not put your stronger sides in and give the other guys some minutes, because you need to see them play. Because if you're unsure about some of the guys you got coming through, or you're not been given them game time during the season, how are you going to know if they're going to be good enough to cut the mustard if you're not playing them? So you've got the time from now to the end of the season to give them minutes and then pick the best 11 that you feel is the best 11 to go and win the Europa League.
Yeah, makes complete sense to me. Lee, obviously this question was going to come up. It was a question that I was obviously going to ask. We have this problem now. That's rumour mill, this, that, and the other. Is Aubameyang the new Ozil? Great show, lads. Hashtag Rocky Judges. Thank you very much, Bill, for your kind donation, mate. As always, thank you very
Bill.
much for the support.
I don't think that he is. I don't think he is. I just think that, he's having a bad time of it at the moment for whatever reason. I've said it before. I felt we come on in the game on Sunday and played very, very not Sunday, on Thursday, come on and played really well. I thought he created the chance for Pepe to score. I thought he come on, he looked sharp, he looks hungry, and that's the sort of Aubameyang that you want to see. I think that with Aubameyang, I think that the problem with his lack of form and lack of goal scoring threat this season, because of whatever reason, I think Arteta's in a little bit of a conundrum where to play him, whether to play him on the left, whether to play down the centre. He's had a few games at the centre and he's been left out, whatever. The ultimate thing is that when he's not played in the last two games that he's not played was against Spurs and yesterday, we played really well. So that's the problem, when if you're going to come in, he's got to perform. Now, it'd be very, very harsh, but ruthless if he brings him back and leaves out Lacazette on Thursday. That's ruthless, But we'll have to wait and see. Listen, I think let's not go too much onto this Aubameyang Ozil thing at the moment. I think that at this moment in time, if Aubameyang's on the bench, that's what a player to have to come on and maybe nick it with 20 minutes to go when it's tired. So I don't think it's a bad thing at the moment. The fact of the matter is, and this is what it comes down to, I think, I don't know why we're comparing it with Ozil and whatever, Lacazette and Aubameyang are chasing that spot. And on Sunday, Lacazette threw his hat firmly in the ring that he's going to be playing on Thursday, and that's all he can do. And what that needs to do now is to inspire Aubameyang as well. Think, right, hold on a minute, I've got to perform, otherwise I'm not going to get in the side, and try and somehow spur each other on to perform better. And that, I think, instead of trying to shoehorn him into, I got it right this time, shoehorning him into the left hand side, which you don't really want, So this hope that he can be. Listen, people are saying, about Aubameyang, about his attitude and all that. Since he's been at the club, he's been different class. It's just he's having a bad season this season, and it can happen. Now, also, it can happen. You get into your 30s and your legs go a little bit and there's no time gap on that. It can happen at a 31-year-old. It can happen at 33, 34. Ian Wright, for instance, was as sharp as a razor at 31 as he was 34. So, it just depends. I have to say, it does look like he's lost a little bit of his sharpness. But I'll go back to the field. I think he's a player that gets adrenaline from the fans as well, and that ain't been about. And I think that's another. I think that's a key factor. I really do.
Dan, echoing what Lee said, I mean, surely Arteta is not putting him by the wayside. Obviously, Mikel Arteta can see that he is quality, and perhaps he has lost a bit of sharpness. But I agree with Lee. I thought when he come on against Prague, he injected a lot of pace into the team when he came on, and he changed the game for us, I thought. But then to hear he's got the thing that makes me a bit thing about it is that he got the flu, right? And I'll tell you why that makes me feel a bit, why I disbelieve it a bit, is because if he's got the flu, right, that's symptoms of COVID, right? So that means that if he's had COVID, then surely the rest of the team would have to isolate or be tested, or something would have to be happening. So that's the only reason why I'm a bit, the flu, really?
Well, the flu still
you're right.
Yeah, I know the flu still exists, Lee, but it's a symptom, isn't it? If you go into work with the flu, your boss is going to say, "Oi,
he's probably surely."
Yeah, I know, but have they all been tested then? Have they all got negative results?
They all get tested every 3 days, don't they?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Have the tests been done from between Thursday and Sunday?
Well, I imagine if he's got flu symptoms, they would the first thing they would do, like, you know what I mean, is give him some Lemsip. Second thing is test him. You know what I mean, like you know, and see how it goes from there. Like, you know, I'd imagine they'd do that. You know, and listen, people are still getting COVID, by the way. You know what I mean. So if it is the case, then it is. But listen, when players have got COVID, they're not kept it quiet, have they? So I just feel like, you know, listen, I had a terrible cold over the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like, you know, and I thought, and I started coughing, so I did have a COVID test, but you know, it was negative. So, like, you know, and that's hence that I put in a midfield general's performance yesterday, like, after being part.
Yeah, just get that one in there. Just get that in there.
I think the problem is, by the way, Balogun's scored again tonight. By the way, for the under.
That's topsy-turvy game, that, isn't it?
There we go. Yeah, so give Balogun a go. Bloody hell, he keeps scoring, and he scored again tonight. Anyway, Granit Xhaka was ill, by the way. I think someone said it in the chat. He had flu, so
that's true.
True, yeah, very true. But I just
could have passed it on to Aubameyang. The problem is, Craig, and you're right, because
rumours.
As Arsenal fans, we've seen the same old thing over and over and over again. So what we look at is, oh, hang on a minute, Aubameyang's sick. Is he doing a Mesut Ozil? Aubameyang's on a 350k a week contract. Is he doing a Mesut Ozil? And somebody asked me yesterday, has Mikel Arteta managed to get rid of one Mesut Ozil and create another? I disagree with that, because I don't think we can say that he's like Mesut Ozil yet. There are some signs to say that he has some attitude problems, but that's not been different for the last 2 years. He's been like that since Dortmund, Aubameyang. He's a real good guy. He wants to be loved, and when things don't go his way, I believe, from what I'm told, he has some attitude problems. And Mikel Arteta did the right thing in dropping him against Spurs for being late, and I believe and stand by the fact that Mikel Arteta did the right thing by dropping him against Slavia Prague. Now, he did come on, and he did do well. So let's hope that that is enough to say, I need to be back in this team. That's what I want to see, the attitude and the fight. What I don't want to see is I've been late for training, the boss has dropped me, so I'm going to just turn up against West Ham and Liverpool, trot around, and I'll get subbed and I'll tell everyone I've got the ump. Because that's what it looked like. So I'm hoping now, coming on against Slavia Prague has proved to everybody, yes, look, you can change the game. I just don't see the pair of them starting together. As in Lacazette and Aubameyang, and it working. Because I still feel we're going to see that, by the way, like I said earlier, but I don't think that it works, and I don't change my mind on that. I think the difference between Aubameyang and Ozil as well is I don't feel personally like there has been enough kind of performances over 2 or 3 seasons that we can start to get frustrated like we have with Mesut Ozil. Because Mesut Ozil was doing this over 3 or 4 seasons. Aubameyang's been doing it for 3 or 4 months. So we can't sit there and say that we've now got another Mesut Ozil. We're being very quick there. I feel like, although there's not enough credit in the bank for Aubameyang to continue with these performances, he has been our most consistent player for the last 2.5 seasons. And I did say at the end of last season, in the Premier League, we would be 16th without Aubameyang, and everybody laughed at me and said, somebody else will get the goals. Well, no one else has this season. And we were looking like we were going to be 15th or 16th until he decided to change things up and give the youngsters a go. So I believe he is still an important player. If we would have had Aubameyang's goals this season, we'd be nowhere near as bad, and we would still be able to be looking potentially at Europe through the league. But he hasn't turned up this season. There's been a lot of other things. I agree with Lee. I think the player thing is definitely something that would affect a player like Aubameyang. He was one who put it up for the crowd. Having said that, he did score 5 goals in 3 games at Wembley without nobody there. But he's still a player that I think does need the crowd there. But the last thing I'll say on it as well with Aubameyang is I still feel like there is enough of quality in there, and you can see it the other night against Gabon. If anybody saw his goals there, that he hasn't lost his pace, he still can finish, and if you get him in the team which works around him, he will score you goals because he's a goal machine. So I don't think we should be giving up on him just yet, in my opinion. I like Aubameyang, and I still stand by it that he should be given kept this summer and given next season. That's what I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, mate. Albert, I mean, what we saw yesterday, if it is to carry on, the lovely intricate passing around the box, the through balls, the running from Martinelli and Saka into the box, creating the space, that's a heaven for Aubameyang, surely.
Yeah, but you know what it is, Craig? The thing is, I see a couple of people saying in the chat that, Aubameyang and Lacazette did work under Emery. I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, there was a couple. I mean, one game I can think of top of my head where they worked in tandem was the second leg against Valencia in the semi-final. But to me, there wasn't many games they worked well as a partnership. When I think of great partnerships on the pitch, I'm thinking of Dwight York and Andy Cole or Shearer and Sutton. But I don't think it works for them in the team. I think you play one or the other. But the problem is because Arteta's feeling the heat, it's a results business. You go against the grain and you pick both of them. Because what have you got to lose? But I don't think it works with both of them in the side. I think it'd be Gaffer's right. I think it'd be incredibly harsh on Lacazette if he doesn't start Thursday. After that performance, yeah, you can talk about the quality in terms of Sheffield United, but he gives us more Lacazette in terms of his all-round game. But then obviously it's the finishing ability of Aubameyang that I think probably sways it. But then Mikel Arteta thinks he's got to pick both.
But it's a game for Lacazette Thursday, isn't it? We need Lacazette up there 100%. Chasing everything, chasing everything, pressing everything, and he'll give you that.
But yeah, he would. The thing is, I think with Arteta, I think he will shoehorn both of them into the side. He just will, because partly I think it's probably desperation, and two, we're in a must-win situation. Like it is, it's a life or death game. So it's that important that he will play both of them on Thursday. I'll be shocked if he doesn't.
Albert? Just coming in, sorry, Albert. Do you think this is a strange one? I was put this question yesterday, and I didn't want to answer it because everyone will say, "Oh, you hate Arteta and you want him out," so I didn't answer it. But has Arteta got Aubameyang to sign a 350k a week contract for 3 years and decided to play a system he doesn't fit into? That's a question I was given yesterday, and I thought it was a fair one because it's looking at the moment like he doesn't fit into Arteta's plans, because when Lacazette and the three youngsters around him play, we seem to win. When Aubameyang plays, we've won 36% of our games. Without him, we've won 63 or just over 63% of our games without Aubameyang. Have they got a point?
I think so. I think he fits his system. I think I agree with Lee and in what he says, that it's just been a shit year for him. He's had a lot of personal problems. His mum was sick. That's got to be playing on his mind. Lee is exactly right about what he says about being with no fans in the ground. He's a player that thrives on being loved and having his name sung, and the adrenaline of hearing us cheer when he scores, and that kind of thing. Like I said, I'm with you, Dan. I wouldn't give up on him just yet. I think he's still got a lot to give to us as a club, and he's still got a lot to give to the team. I just think he needs to play. I think he needs to play down the middle. I don't like him on the left wing, and I think that with next season, with the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Pepe at full pelt, Odegaard hopefully in there behind him, I think he will flourish more next season with those players on the pitch with him. I think we'll see the best of him again next season. So I'm not giving up on him just yet. Sorry to cut across you, Albert. You may answer.
No, I'm gonna. That's all right. No, you know what I was gonna say in regards to Aubameyang. I think going forward, and this is gonna come down to obviously the recruitment in the summer, or who's gonna go. Shall I say? Sorry. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Like, I've been consistent with it with Lacazette. I would have sold him already. I think for what we paid for him and what we've got in terms of an output, I don't necessarily think it's worked at Arsenal. So if you're going to have Aubameyang up top, which you would, if you want to have a choice out of the two, then there's no room for Lacazette. So I hear what Dan's saying in terms of like, I hear about the percentage thing of the games won with and without, but I think if you ask most Arsenal fans, although Aubameyang's been off it this season for various different reasons, by the way, he would still be your go-to man, and he would be your main guy up top. So that would result in Lacazette being moved on. And it should happen.
Sorry, Albert. Sorry.
Yeah, and it should happen. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, well, just going back to what Dan was saying there about, he signed Aubameyang, and then what is his style at the moment? Because for me, the one player that ticks all the boxes for him and the way, the pressing game, hustling and all that would be Martinelli. He's hardly got a game.
Yeah.
And then he's gone and signed Willian, you know what I mean, that would be suited to my Vets football team with the pace that he goes at, you know what I mean? So,
hang on, I thought you were a quick team. You were telling me, Judge.
Yeah.
Well, we are. We are, but I think Willian might get off.
Willian can walk fast then.
No, what I'm saying is, you know what I mean? What I'm saying is that Willian's not your oppressor, is he? Like, you know what I mean? Sort of a player, ball retention and things like that. But he's not one of those dynamic players that I thought that that Arteta would be looking at. Because when you look at it last season, I thought Pepe was doing okay, but everybody's sort of saying about, like when he played in the semi-final, cup final, they're all saying, but Pepe ain't really Arteta's man because he's not pressing and everything. So he goes and signs Willian. So I find that very, very strange just from that point of view. And I just think that the reason that Aubameyang has got this poor percentage at the moment is because he ain't playing well. I think it's just as simple as that. I don't think it's rocket science. He's just not playing well. If he was playing well, yes, his percentage would be up because it was last season. I think there were games last season when I'm being honest, and I've had a good look at Aubameyang, and I thought, God, his touch ain't the greatest. He ain't the greatest hold-up playing well. I've been saying all this for 2 or 3 seasons, but when the ball comes across, bang, it's in the back. Oh, well, I can forgive him for that. I can let him off for this. I can let him off for that. And that's what he is. He's a goal scorer. Ultimately, that's what he does. Now, he not only... I think this season I don't think lots probably changed too much. It's just that he's missed more chances this season than what he has done in the last season or so, and he's just not at the standard that he was at this moment in time. That doesn't mean to say he's not going to be. I think everybody's looking a little bit into it, a little bit like listen, another Ozil. Is it really? Do we want to really go down that route again with somebody? Why can't he be somebody else? Why can't he be Aubameyang? You know what I mean? And I think that with Mesut Ozil was a great player for us, but he never really hit the heights that everybody expected this for him to do. Let's be honest about it. Aubameyang has, by the way. Aubameyang certainly has. He's hit great heights. So
in a poor side as well.
In a poor side, yeah, and everybody last year, Abba carried us last season, so can't we carry him a little bit this season? That's how I see it. And Albert's definitely right. On a one-on-one situation in Prague with the last couple of minutes, I know who I want that ball falling to.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just want to get into some questions. There's a few questions in there coming. Thank you, Alexander, for your kind donation, mate. Get Henry in for a month to help Saka with his finishing, amongst others. And he turns him into a world-class player. Saka's fishing. Yeah, Saka's finishing isn't quite up to par.
Put your glasses on.
Yeah, I think I should. What you got to say on that, Dan? He's finishing.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
good idea.
I don't want any more ex-players coming to Arsenal. I don't want it. It doesn't.
You don't want Thierry Henry coming back?
I'd like to see Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Ian Wright, someone like that.
Bloody hell, so would I.
I like the idea of that.
Same here.
I don't want any ex-players coming back. I just want to see us moving forward away from that. It hasn't worked out for me, so I'd say no. However, I do think Saka needs to finish his dinner more because I believe his end product is really quite worrying. And I know that he's 19, and I know that he will improve as a footballer. But sometimes when you've either got it or you haven't, and I would say Saka hasn't got it in terms of finishing. I'd say he's fantastic creativity. I'd say he's got fantastic ability, his work rate, his passion, his desire, and his tenacity. And mentally, I think we've got a great player. But he needs to work on his end product great. Yeah. So I like the idea of coaching. I like the idea of coaching him in his finishing. I just don't want to really see any of the ex-players come back. That's just me. A lot of people would love to see everyone come back. But just because they were great players don't make them great coaches. We see Henry already not make it 3 clubs now. So, nah.
Oh, yeah, but that's managed. Well, I get what you're saying, but that's managing, mate. Surely Henry can coach a player on how to fucking put a ball in the back of the net.
I'd like to think so, mate. I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so. But I don't know. I would work on Saka's finishing 100% though. Absolutely. That was the question. Yeah. So, let's give him some time because he's got everything else. He just needs to.
Yeah, look, exactly. Saka, that's his only letdown at the moment for me. Is his finishing? We saw it. We saw it last Thursday. He's clear through on goal.
Oh.
Exactly. I think what Lee just said, Lee or
against
Apple,
Burnley. Burnley away. He's 4 yards out and he puts it wide.
There you go.
Do you know?
And like both the lads said, when you go through 1-on-1, everyone was going about Lacazette. You want Aubameyang. I wouldn't want Saka.
And I think if my mind serves me correctly, he missed a sitter for England as well. He was 6 yards out and he put one wide.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, I can remember. I'm pretty sure it was him. Now
he's playing against Man City definitely as well. So.
He did. We'll finish on this one. This one comes in from Lee. Craig and your panel, can you talk about how embarrassing Son was yesterday?
Yes, we can.
At Tottenham. Now, I had a little Twitter argument with my good friend yesterday on Twitter. We like to have our arguments, but we're good mates after it all. Now, if you watch that very, very slowly, you can actually see that Scott McTominay goes to hand off Son's hand. And if you watch it slowly, Scott McTominay's hand comes up off of Son's top. And the momentum of him pushing his hand, it flicks up off of Son's shirt. And the momentum of him flicks him up into his face. There was no intention there to hit Son in the face whatsoever. It wasn't a foul. It wasn't a booking. That's fine. But the reaction to it, you would swear the fella had been shot in the face from one of the top of the stands. It's embarrassing. This thing in football, I don't condone. I don't care if it's an Arsenal player. If it's an Arsenal player, is to say the same thing. Lee, this thing in football of diving around, trying to get. He knew what he was doing. As soon as that ball went in the back of the net, those Spurs players knew what they were doing.
Of course they did.
Do you know, Son's on the floor, so you're going to have to have a look at that. You're going to have to have a look at that. If VAR is not here, it's a goal.
Do you know what's more embarrassing about it from VAR's point of view? There was a worse one than that from Pogba on the right back, and nothing was done about it. And that was a foul. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying a sending off, but that was a little bit tougher and all that. Like, what's more annoying about it is, right, he's, as I put on Twitter yesterday, like, he was knocked out for 3 minutes by a flying finger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how protocols say you've got to have for like a week off. So how comes he was allowed to stay on the pitch? Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's embarrassing. I'll tell you something now. When I played football, right, I know it's a long time ago, but even when you're playing football, if someone hurts you, or, you know what I mean, don't show them. Don't show them that they've hurt you, like, you know what I mean? Your personal pride, that lets it, you know what I mean, don't let it happen, like, do you know what I mean? And listen, now I just think, like, football, when that was given as a foul, I just think to myself, football's ruined. And I don't care what anybody says. You can have a go at me and whatever. The Leeds game versus Man City, the Leeds fella wins the ball and his momentum takes him into the tackle. You know what I mean? Like, so even if you win the ball now, it's a foul. It's ridiculous. Listen, in my day, if you won the ball and bashed the player, a bloody trophy was given to you. Like, well done, son. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, fantastic tackle. Nowadays, it's a sending off. It's ridiculous. Football, look, contact sports. It's football, you know what I mean? It's contact sports. So you are going to get contact somewhere along the line. And a fingernail, and I'll tell you what's really annoyed me. I thought I'm going to get home and watch it on Match of the Day, right? They pillared those, I ain't going to swear, those horrible people on Match of the Day pillared Lacazette for screaming out on a thing like that. I mean, mocked him like that. And then, no, they didn't even condemn the man yesterday, like, you know what I mean? Is that because he's a little smiler and smiles around all the time and all that, like, you know? No time. Anyway, justice prevailed. Cheat FC got stuffed in the end, like, and I love it. You know what I mean? Love it. And I'll tell you another thing, like, people have a go at me when I cheered when Son got injured. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I suppose, like, you know, that's why. That's why I do, because he's a nasty little piece of work. Happens to wear a chicken on his shirt as well, like that don't help.
Nigel, do me a favour. Look, I'm going to have to. I have to make. I'm going to make a point on this one because I think some of this stuff drives me mad. Nigel, if you're still there, mate, can you take out Ali I of the chat and ban him? A female has made a comment, and he has made a derogatory comment back, a sexist comment back. So ban him, please, mate. Just because she's a woman means nothing. That's her opinion. And if she wants to come in here and talk about football, she's very welcome to come in here and talk about football. Nigel, ban him so we never see him again. Dan, it's happened again tonight. West Brom have had a goal disallowed. It didn't matter. Didn't matter now because they've gone on and won the game. But West Brom, did you see it? Did you see the decision to disallow the goal? Absolutely unbelievable.
I didn't see it.
Wait till you see it. Like, it's unreal.
This is getting silly. And I spoke to a Man United fan yesterday, actually, that I'm quite close to. And he just said, I hate this season. And I said, you hate this season? I said, we've had an absolutely dreadful, dreadful season. And he goes, I should love it. He says, I don't like Tottenham and they're out and it's funny. I don't like Liverpool and they're having a nightmare. He said, obviously, Man City is not great. He said, I'm laughing at you boys because you're embarrassing and it's funny that you all still want your manager in. He said, but I hate this season because of what I'm seeing on the pitch with these officials. And I said, yeah, I can't blame you. I can't not blame you. I looked at that yesterday and I thought, what's he doing? I thought, get up. The referee will go and have a look at this and just laugh and it will just be a goal and he'll play on. And when he gave that decision, I thought, is this for real now? Doesn't have to be intentional for it to be a foul. I'm with that, but that's not a bloody foul, is it?
Ain't a foul in any way, shape, or form.
How is that a bloody foul? I do not understand at all. Great comments in here, by the way, about Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who was by far man of the match tonight, apparently. Absolutely superb for West Brom. Talking about the West Brom game. Haven't seen the goal you're talking about. I will watch it because I was busy earlier. But this officiating is...
Talk about it tomorrow.
Did he score?
Yeah, we will.
Talk about it tomorrow on the Total Screamers podcast. Don't forget, tomorrow at 7 o'clock, the Total Screamers football show returns with me, Dan, Simo, and Jake. Wednesday night, we're on a bit of a rest. Thursday night, 4 men and a mic. Friday night, Team Talk, Dan?
Yes, mate. Yep, Team Talk Friday. Look at this. You're putting out content, aren't we now? Brilliant stuff.
I'll tell you what, mate.
Top notch.
Do you know, I've had a lot of comments on that as well that we're putting out more content. VAR is very topsy-turvy, Adam. It is very topsy-turvy. Very good, sir. Very good. I like that. John says Craig is 8 p.m. regular time on Mondays. Yes, 8 p.m. We're going to go for 8 p.m. through the summer because Judges has gone back playing football. So that's why we've gone to 8 because Lee plays football till 7. So we give Lee an hour to get home and have his shower and his dinner and all that before he comes on, do his hair. And he likes to look his best when he comes on here, bless him. So... can I just ask you one question? How comes you wear a beanie hat on AFTV but not on here?
Because I'm at home.
What's that got to do with anything?
Well,
he's warm in his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
it's
is it? Oh, right. Okay.
Cold in that studio.
Is it? All right. Okay. I was just wondering. Just wondering. I'll get it when you're outside the Emirates, when you've got your
Can't resist them Cadbury's cream eggs.
Thank you very much to everyone who's been watching live. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone who donated to us. Much appreciated again. Thank you very much if you became a member. My thanks to Mr. Potts. Thank you very much, mate, for your time. Thank you.
Always been a pleasure, and I will see you tomorrow, Craig.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Albert, where can people find you on the YouTube and where can people find you on the Twitter bird?
Cheers, mate. Good to be reunited with the Gooner family. Albert JTV, very easy to find. Twitter handle at AUMO57. Come and subscribe, people.
Absolutely. Go and subscribe to Albert's very, very good YouTube channel. Comment in there from Adlad saying, where's Graham? Graham is at work this evening. That's why he's not here. Judges, the laurel to my Hardy, the ant to my deck,
My beanie to my head.
Yeah, the cream to my egg.
Lee, can you answer that question in the chat? Martin the Gooner. I'm
What's
sure
that?
Lee wears socks with his flip flops.
Nigel, where are you, son? Where are
Poor
you?
old Lee getting an awful doing, isn't he? Perhaps you might think
I'll
you
say
might
it
think
right
you
now.
might think twice now about putting silly
Listen,
videos
you'll
up
all
and
be
saying, "Is that
mocking
you
when I
dancing,
put
Clay?"
as my sponsor. You know what I mean? Like flip flop. Yeah, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Madness. Love it. Love it. Lee, thank you for your time, mate.
No worries. Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
I know
as
you're a
usual.
busy man. I know you're a busy man. So much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed, mate. Thank you very much.
No problems. No problem.
Any news on your Any news on your YouTube channel, mate?
Well, yes, I've got things. We've got things started. All things going. We're nearly there. But I had a good bit of advice. Wait till Thursday, see what happens on Thursday. I don't want to be launching the channel on Friday. You know what I mean? Not a good place. So I'm waiting for we're waiting to see what happens after Thursday, and then we'll be ready to go. I've just got to do a promotional video yet with Samantha Fox, and we're just got to be doing that, like, you know.
Linda Lusardi.
Linda Lusardi, do you remember them? Like, yeah, and
I certainly do.
and Cheryl Cole. Like, you know what I mean?
All right, mate. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
No.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're nearly there.
Good, mate. I'm totally looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
Totally looking
I am.
forward to it. Thank you very much indeed. Until we see you again.
By the way, Samantha Fox, she was foxy, wasn't she, in her day?
Yeah.
Oh, she was. And Linda Lusardi, she was nice and all. Very nice indeed. She was one of my personal favourites. Thank you very much for watching us live. It's much appreciated.
You know that?
Who?
Linda Lusardi lives in Cheshunt.
Really?
Mm.
Well, tell her I said hello next time.
I will
So,
do.
yeah. Thank you very much. Until we see you again tomorrow night for Total Screamers podcast. Take care of yourselves and each other. Until we see you again, up the Arsenal.
On the Arsenal.
All you gooders.
Hello.